This is the Variety Sports Network, created for the fans, by the fans. Now to your host of tonight's show.
And welcome to the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast, episode 157. I'm your host, Daren Breyer, along with Tyler McGirt, Casey Breyer. We got a fun show on tap for you this evening. Just a few things, gentlemen, that we haven't talked about in a couple of weeks. A couple of MMA-style NBA plays I'm sure we have to get into as well. A few Ohtani deals. How does that affect Tyler's precious Giants over there? And then we'll have some fun. I think with the Raiders, 49-0. Is that what you said, Tyler, right now as we're jumping on the air on Thursday Night Football against the – is that what it is right now, 49-0? Is it you have –
I've been watching NCAA women's Final Four volleyball the last 10 minutes because I had enough of the Raiders.
It was 49-0.
Hopefully Staley gets fired.
It is 49-7. They are on the board. So they're on the board. They're 49-7. Adam texted me. He's like, yeah, the Raiders are up 42-0 at half. I was like, what? I was like, kind of thought he was definitely messing with it. He's like, no, he is. I was like, so this week again on Talking the Gridiron, will Staley be fired after this week? I think we said that like 9 straight times on that show. What's up, T? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be back. Glad for 3 weeks in a row of Fatboy FadeAway. We're getting back on that grind. Casey, we got the big three back. The best big three since Clay, Dre, and Steph. Casey, how are you? Daren, it's good to have you back.
Oh man, I'm doing great, man. It's good whenever I get to see your two faces over here and then a Christmas tree behind you. It lets me know the good holidays are coming around.
Very festive.
Yeah.
The married life. It wasn't me, I promise.
It's all right, man. It's up. But yeah, no, like I was telling Daren, it was sent him a picture. It was a hell of a day, but it's nice when you get used to things that you're not accustomed to doing, and you kind of break that the fear. And so driving a big flat bed with pipe.
How big was that truck?
I don't know.
It looked like it was at least 25 feet.
Yeah, about that.
Man, I was like, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it was fun though. Like once you get up the hump, it's like just like anything in life. The more you do it, but it was just like, man, you take a picture, like, damn, that's me.
What was it? A box truck or was it open air truck, or like a trailer?
No, flatbed. Big.
Okay, yeah, that's fun. I know what
you're
talking about.
That was cool. But yeah, no, like with anything, it's just fun to do something that you're not accustomed to doing. But
can I ask you a question about that real quick though? The truck today when you drove, did you drive on the freeway? I'm assuming. Or no? Yeah. Okay. I've always wondered that with truck drivers. It's like, man, I would hate every on ramp. I'd be like every time you guys hit an exit, I'd be like, damn it.
I want to clarify, a highway, not a freeway.
All right.
The best part about driving a highway or a truck is your boss can't be bitching at you while you're driving it. You're in your own world. You just get to drive the truck. That's my favorite.
That's true. But you don't get paid for that, do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You better get paid. I'd be like, give me a raise.
I thought there was something. I thought you get paid for a while drive. Oh, it's driving to the spot. That's what you said. Yeah, gotcha. That was messed up too, though. If you said you 2 hours, you don't get paid for 2 hours. But for the most part, it is what it is. All right, gentlemen, we act on the fly here sometimes, and we just kind of make it happen on Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast. As I was getting onto the show, I'm just innocently looking at the X, and I see a couple conversations happening about Maseratis and all this other garbage. And Purdy comes up, and I when I did this show with Talking the Gridiron, I didn't have you on, and they were talking about CMC kind of running the show. And in the back of my head, I thought, I bet Tyler would disagree with this comment. Let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend, Nico here from Far End of the Bench Podcast. A rare performance on Fatboy FadeAway.
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Let's cut the crap. Let's go right. You're on here.
Hold on. How happy are you that your team is the best performance your team's ever done all season? I did not think that this happened.
Hey, I was just telling them before.
They had me watching NCAA Women's Final Four volleyball. That's how bad that game was. I was like, I'm out of here.
We'll say it again this week, Nico, on Talking the Gridiron. Will he be fired? Will he be fired this week? But does he survive again?
He doesn't survive tomorrow.
The Chargers with it. Hey, 49-7. We'll take it as a Raiders fan. Unfortunately, I couldn't enjoy it at all because I figured it'd be a terrible game. So that's what it is. So 49-7 there. Let's get into it. The tweet was Tyler said that Purdy, is basically Montana.
That's not what I said.
He said that. Go ahead.
Tyler, you say what you
Not what I
said.
said.
You say what you said. Then you go.
I said that if you're going to call Purdy a game manager, then Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Joe Montana are game managers as well. That's what I said. And then Nico came at me very harshly. You hurt my feelings a little bit, and I responded like a wounded animal.
First off, Tyler, it's all love. It's all love.
Absolutely.
Because the 49ers, I would like to say, are my second or my NFC team because I love McCaffrey. I love Juszczyk. I love John Lynch. Kyle Shanahan went to my high school. So let me make that very, very clear before I talk a bunch of bullshit here to all 49ers fans that are not going to love this. But, look, what I had to say, plain simple, is that Purdy – was giving keys to Maserati. Is he very good at what he has around doing good with what he has around him? Absolutely. He's done a great job. I'm not denying that at all. He's done a great job. But you cannot sit here and tell me that Peyton didn't create DT of who he is. Brady didn't create Gronk of who he was, didn't create Edelman. They were game changers, but they created monsters. Christian McCaffrey was a top 3 running back before he came to San Francisco. George Kittle was the best tight end in football a couple years running. Deebo Samuel had some MVP votes before Purdy even took a snap or got drafted by the 49ers. He has done a great job. But to sit here and say that Purdy does what Manning and Brady did to the players around him is blasphemous.
All right. Once again, I didn't say he. I'll say he did. He does make his players better. Deebo isn't having the year he had 2 years ago, but he's definitely having a better year than he had last year. Ayuk never had a year like this. Kittle is Kittle. He's a great player. I can't hate on Kittle. Yep. TMC has been rejuvenated since Purdy's been.
He was the top 3 tight end.
No, he was terrible for 3 years. He couldn't stay healthy. Purdy gives them a situation where you have to not put 8 guys in the box. And then Peyton Manning, he had Dallas Clark, Reggie Wade, Marvin Harrison, Andrew Tate. That's 4 Hall of Famers. That's 4 Hall of Famers on one team. I'm not saying Peyton Manning's great. Peyton Manning's great. And that's my – hold on, Nico. That's my point.
Finish.
Peyton Manning is absolutely a legend, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm just saying they play the game the same way. They take a snap. They take their 5-step, 3-step, 7-step, and the ball comes out, and it's on target, and they move the ball down the field. Maybe Purdy might have some better weapons than Peyton Manning, but that's hard to argue if you're going to really go that far. And Demaryius Thomas is an athletic freak. Like, he's great, too. Wes Welker had 67 receptions his second year in the NFL on the Dolphins before he went to Tom Brady. Before he went to Peyton Manning, where he put up the ungodly numbers, with Joey Harrington at quarterback. He was going to be something. He did that in his second year with Joey Harrington. Gronk is an athletic freak. We can all agree on that. He's one of one tight end. Like, every great quarterback, in my opinion, has great weapons. Yes, Purdy's taking advantage. I do think Peyton Manning and Tom Brady are better than Brock Purdy. Like, there's no question in my heart at all. But to just say, my biggest issue is people using game manager as like this negative thing. It's almost like the reverse athletic, like always a scrambling quarterback. Smith. They give the white guy the game manager, that's how I feel right now. They give the white guy the game manager thing as it's negative.
Let me sneak in here for a minute. Let cool the fires down before Nico burns back with words behind you. To Tyler's point, though, I will give him Peyton Manning. I mean, Edgerrin James, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark. So, I mean, you got to have players around you.
He's from Iowa. He's a tight end, Nico.
Look. Dallas Clark, if he had Brock Purdy as his quarterback, he would not be a Hall of Fame tight end, okay? Let's just keep it above here.
Hear me out real quick. So, you got Robert Mathis, and then you got
that's defensive side of the ball. That has nothing to do with the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, that is a component to the general manager, and the head coach. And look, Kyle Shanahan has been one of the best in the league. But I'm not throwing in what Nick Bosa, what Fred Warner, what this great team the 49ers have done, because I don't think it matters in terms of game managing.
Just offense, yeah, just offense.
For me,
I hear you, Case.
Yeah, I think more opportunities as a quarterback to succeed and not have the, if you do throw a pick, you're all right because you have that defense to rely on. So I think he's playing a lot of freedom right now with those skilled players. That's what I was getting.
I absolutely get that. And like the thing I'll have to say is the couple things you said there. I don't think Wes Welker has a 10-year career without Tom Brady. I don't think Gronkowski has a Hall of Fame career without Tom Brady.
No,
DT sure as hell does not play for another 7 years with Tim Tebow as his fucking quarterback and produces as good as he did. Okay? All these players were molds of themselves, but became who they were because of the players that they had, because of the quarterback they were given. Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Run CMC, their legacy was already built before Brock Purdy got the keys to the Maserati. He was giving keys to it, and he's done a great job with it. But my argument is that Peyton, Tom Brady, and company elevated those around him like no one has ever seen before. And put Purdy in that conversation is beyond me, and that's where my argument here is.
Purdy's only played a year and a half, and I agree with you. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning are the two best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL I've ever seen. Rodgers is right behind him. He doesn't have the championships. Even though Peyton won one as like a secondary game manager, you'd admit at that point in his career.
I gotta say something. Purdy's not any of those guys.
Debo and Kittle have all like gotten not more productive in numbers, but more productive in winning games since Purdy's been there.
They got to the Super Bowl. Get the Super Bowl with half of those guys.
They weren't the same players though, and that's
but you got the Super Bowl with half of them.
We were also playing freaking Emmanuel Sanders. Like it's a different. They're elevated since Purdy's got there. Look at their yards per catch. Their yards per game, except for Debo. Debo's a different animal. I can't control. Debo's like the weirdest player in the history of the NFL. I don't know how to put like a stamp on Debo. I don't think you think Russell Wilson at this point is better than.
Look. The argument I had. I don't think Russ is playing better than Purdy. No, I by no means am I saying that. But I'm saying if you switch the two. I have a bet. There's a better chance Russell Wilson figures out how to get the ball to Debo, Kittle, and CMC than Purdy figuring out how to throw the ball to Greg Dulcich and Cortland Sutton. There's a much better chance that Russell Wilson figures it out than Brock Purdy figures it out here. Way bigger chance. It's not even close.
And you're saying though,
Purdy steps on the field here in Denver behind this shitty O-line. And can't hand the ball off every other play to the best running back in the league. He's not going to know what to do with himself. Russell Wilson will figure out. He's not good right now. Russell Wilson has been terrible. I'm one of the biggest components on Russell Wilson needs to be gone in 2 years. Quicker than that. He's not the reason we're in the playoffs and playoff picture at all. But by no means am I going to sit here and say that Russell Wilson, who game managed better than anyone in the history of football with the Seattle Seahawks, he was not the reason they won the Super Bowl. He had Tyler Lockett, Marshawn Lynch. He had great defense. Sound familiar?
It sounds like Peyton Manning.
It sounds very familiar. He would have figured it out much quicker than Purdy coming here, and that's not saying that's not kudos to Russell Wilson by any means. It's just the game manager that Brock Purdy is, because Brock Purdy would not be able to elevate the Broncos offense the way that Russell Wilson hasn't been able to at all. Neither would be able to, but Russell Wilson would be able to figure out how to maintain the offensive production that the 49ers currently have if the roles were reversed.
So how does Brock Purdy prove to you that he's a good quarterback? There's nothing he can do then. There's nothing. Because
he's got a player.
He's going to have these weapons. There's literally
he has to win a Super Bowl and have to be on the backs of him right now.
Can you admit the last 5 weeks have been on the back of Brock Purdy more than Christian McCaffrey? The first 5-game winning streak was on the back of Christian McCaffrey.
McCaffrey, yeah. Look, he's figured it out the last couple of weeks. I will say that. Okay. He's been better. But I'm not going to sit here and say that Purdy is still the guy on this team, because look, if you take Brock Purdy off of the 49ers and switch him with any postseason quarterback left, the other team gets worse, right? The other team gets worse. There's only switch him with Dak Prescott. Do you think the Cowboys are as good as they are?
I think they're better. Dak, what is Dak proving? He's never won anything. Dak's not as good as Purdy.
Okay, switch him with Patrick Mahomes, the 49ers. Do they get better?
I mean, no.
Patrick Mahomes switch him with Josh Allen and the Bills.
You name the two best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Burrow.
But he's an MVP.
If he goes to the Eagles,
he's an MVP candidate, though. That's what I've been told. He's an MVP candidate, though.
If he goes
he's
to
not
the Eagles,
the best player on his team. The MVP cannot be the best player. Cannot not be the best player on his team.
Don't give him the MVP then. I mean,
I agree. Look, Chris McCaffrey. I will stand on this, and Jimmy will back me on this. Chris McCaffrey is the best player in football, and it's not even close. What he does,
so anyone on the Niners can't
no one
win
else
MVP
can
but
touch
Chris
in football.
That's not a slight at Purdy though, because he plays with Christian McCaffrey.
But I'm sick and tired of Purdy being shoved down my throat like he's God. Because he's not.
Maybe we watch two different news cycles, because I see it as Brock Purdy's this okay quarterback being carried. As you're saying I given you the platform, thankfully, for you to come on to say what you want to say about Purdy being an average quarterback, worse than Russell Wilson, which is like.
I'm not saying he's worse.
I'm saying if they switch.
I said if they switched, he would not have figured it out.
You mentioned Greg Dulcich. He still has Jerry Jeudy, who's he
had some bad. He had
a bad week. With Portland, something's good. DJ Hamlin when healthy.
Look, the Broncos' weapons are nowhere even close. I can name off 10 different 49ers players on the offense. I can name 5 or 6 on the offense alone that are better than anything the Broncos have offensively. That's McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle, Juszczyk, Trent Williams.
Come on.
Juszczyk is the best fullback in football, okay? You're talking about
he plays 40% of the snaps.
Exactly. You don't think he makes the running game what it is?
You're talking to an ex-fullback here, Tyler.
Yeah, he makes the running game what it is. Look, I just named you 5 football players that would start automatically on the Denver Broncos, and I didn't even bring up Brock Purdy.
Tyler, hold on, Tyler. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I think the thing that I kind of find funny, this is where, to me, the Purdy thing goes, is whenever, like I said, I don't think you meant it like this, but it was kind of how Jimmy, when you kind of roasted him a few weeks ago on Talking the Gridiron, when he went Burrow, Montana, Manning, and you're like, wow, that's quite the company there. And that, I think when you threw Manning, Brady out there, it's like, to me, if Brady goes to, like Rodgers did, they go to the Jets, they get lifted to another level. I'm not sure if Purdy's at that spot yet. It sounds the way you're going. You think this guy's a stud. You put him on the Bears, this team automatically is going to be, right there in the playoff hunt.
I do think that. I think he's that good.
I don't know if I can go there yet with that.
Needs to be proven. Winning the Super Bowl is the one last thing he needs to do to set everybody up.
I think he could get to that point, but right now in his career, he is not at that point. I am not denying that he could get to that point, but right now he's not at that point.
You want to look at Peyton Manning's rookie year and what he did? He threw the record for most interceptions till
what a helmet. I always
someone just broke the record. But I mean, we could argue and nitpick that he's a year and a half into his career. He's on his way to being a great player in the NFL. He's getting the right coaching on.
Might win an MVP this year. Of course, he's a great player. He might win the MVP. I know, Nico. I know you.
If he wins an MVP, I will lose my mind. Look, the MVP award. I want to ask this question to you guys because it's an interesting set of trivia I saw today. Do you know who the last non-quarterback MVP was?
AP.
No.
2008.
It's crazy.
We are a decade and a half removed.
There's never been a receiver that's won it, which is kind of crazy to me.
It is ridiculous. Might as well make it the MVQ because then Purdy can win it. Then Purdy should win it. Sure, make it the MVQ because it's most valuable quarterback because that's what the position is. You have to get away from this because he's not. Like you said, he's done a great job with what he has, but he's not the best player on his team. He's not the second best player on his team. And I don't think he's a third or fourth either.
He's the fourth best player.
Kudos to the team he has around him. That's a kudos to the team he has around him. But if we want to start putting him in the MVP conversation, we need to have some serious checks.
The Raiders have 63 damn points right now.
My God.
He's the fourth. You have Trent.
I had the under this game, by the way.
Chargers did their part. The Chargers they tried to help the Raiders. You would have thought they would. Hey, Nico, do you have one more segment something real quick?
Yeah, because I want to talk Draymond with you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping you might want to start with.
This is get my juices flowing.
Let me go with it. Casey, you saw the play. You saw what happened with it. To me, we've talked about this before. I've been saying this for years. They're not the same player, but they are the same player overall is Rodman and Green. And I could see it coming years ago. Rodman lost his mind towards after that Bulls years. He was like, Dallas, LA. I sensed that with Draymond like a little bit ago as we were like after that, like kind of last year, he got weirder a little bit with some of his stuff. The pool thing, obviously, at the beginning of the year. Casey, Draymond, has he fully lost it? Is it time for the Warriors after this last?
Has he? Has he?
Has he fully lost it? Is it time
I
for
didn't realize this was
the Warriors to
conversation.
move on from it?
Absolutely not. I mean,
No?
don't move. I mean, you just gave him $100 million this past year. I mean, you pretty much got to ride with him, right? I mean, you got 4 years on that deal. What are you going to do, really?
Cut him?
No. You know, what you can do is, just ride with him. Hopefully you can get whatever it is that he needs, in that inner self. But, I mean, you can tell his mind's not on basketball right now. If you're getting ejected or a technical half of your games throughout the season, that's not good. Like,
No.
there's more. I mean,
That's
coming
adult
up.
league basketball right there. Windsor.
Yeah, but the sad
I've
thing,
gotten kicked out of city leagues for technical
the
players.
sad thing for me though is like the things that have been happening, that they're happening at a rapid pace. That's the part that I think is alarming. Like where it's like the stomp on the chest and then the choke. 4 weeks later, it's the use of Nurkic. So it's like a repeat pattern that keeps happening, and it's
3
where
suspensions in 7 months.
I mean, you're losing millions of dollars right now, and it's like obviously they're wealthy. We know this, but sometimes it goes beyond like the wealth, where it's like I won't say it's entitled, but it's like a suspension or this or that. And then I think it kind of hit him like when he did and I Draymond's a straight up dude. I ain't gonna lie about that, but I think he actually was apologetic for what he did, but I don't think he's in the right mindset to make apologies, if that makes sense.
No, that totally makes sense. I think he's completely like he's just not like when and then that apology he gave there. Nico, if you're still on there, let me know. You're a little further there, but Tyler, what do you think there with that whole Draymond thing?
I mean, he's completely lost his mind. I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what there is to do. He needs a new situation to become an adequate basketball. He reminds me of Rasheed Wallace in Portland, where he just couldn't stop getting technicals. It's even worse than that because he's getting. But I don't know if it's worse because we've moved in times and people are quicker with whistles and like whatnot.
He's more physical towards other opponents. I feel like that's the little difference than Rasheed was.
Yeah, I think he needs a new hometown, a new perspective. I think the message has been lost at this point. He can't
remember almost two.
You compare him to Rodman. Rodman was still winning championships till he left.
No, I said after that Rodman era in the Bulls. That's where I felt like Draymond was.
On the Mavericks and the Lakers?
Yeah, and I'm just saying, like, Draymond kind of felt like it because he's been on the same team, but you don't get that same feel. But my point is, like, I kind of saw that coming a little bit because to play at his level, you mentally have to be like, you mentally have to be at a different level a lot. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
He's definitely not the most talented guy in the league. So
I mean, like, his edge has to be there. And now he has kids.
He's just the edge.
He's married. He has podcast crap that we talk about.
Well, he doesn't do that right now.
He's off the charts with that stuff. So I don't know what's the deal with that stuff. But what do you think there, Nico?
Sorry, can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I got you. It's a little rattling right now.
You sound like a popcorn machine.
Hold on.
Get that popcorn ready for Purdy. Get it ready, right, Tyler? Get it ready for Purdy.
I mean,
all right, Nico, jump on again. We don't care. We'll figure it out, man. I want to get your takes on it. So we'll get it figured out, hopefully, with Nico there on it. But let's keep going with it, Draymond. The thing with it, too, is, like, that's why the Rodman thing's fascinating to me because, like, Tyler, you know this. I think I did a show on it. It was like, I think, like, it's just everybody always says they're not the same. I go, they're exactly, like, other than what they did on the basketball court, it's just different opposites of greatness they had for a period of time. The difference is Rodman, when he went to the Bulls, he had freaking Michael Jordan and Pippen, and all he did was a rebound. You look at all his other stats, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not like, wow, 4 points a game. And it's not like anything crazy. 1 assist. So my point is like, it's a different impact, but the mental part of him is he's just like, I feel like you're right. Something else is going on in his life. Like there's some anger coming from somewhere else because this is inconsistent play now. I would say for the last 18 months.
Well,
That's a long time. That's almost we're talking 2 years basically now.
So when did it start?
The
Was
Pool.
the bonus stomp? Because
No,
that was only 6
Pool.
months ago.
Immediately it had to be Pool. He socked his teammate in the face.
Jordan did that too, though, and recovered just fine.
But
That's
Jordan
how
didn't
it
get
was.
out in public. Draymond's always defensive. Think about the thing that. How about Casey? The thing that always bothered me was the KD thing he did.
The most out of the three of us.
I hated when they threw Kerr down. I hated when he threw Kerr under the bus in that interview. And Myers, like that's stupid stuff to do.
The Durant thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree.
I don't know. Go ahead, Chase.
There's a lot to unpack because it's like now we're talking about the person. We're not talking about the basketball player anymore, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's both of them, but when you start talking about problems and you're bringing up Rodman, you know what that.
No, but we can talk about. Hold on, Casey. I'm gonna let you go, but we can talk about what he's done on the basketball court as a player. And say things are different. Like, I don't want to talk about his personal life because I don't know. I don't want to speculate. But on the basketball court.
But he's lost his mind on the court.
As a Warriors fan, him getting ejected 3 times in like 15 games. Go ahead, Casey.
Tyler, I'm just saying, like, at this. And like,
sorry, Nico. It's too crackling, man. Oh man, that was too bad. Go ahead, Casey.
Crackle pop, but no, just
Rice Krispies.
As a media and like just the overall NBA, how they want to be perceived. You know what I mean? Like as an this league going forward, expanding their league right now is not the best time to be doing these. No, that's all good. I got you. And it's just what I mean. It's really tough because when you cross that fine line and you've played that role your whole life. And now it's not being as effective where these young guys like Anthony Edwards, they're listening to you, but they ain't really paying attention, and so part of that Draymond Green effect, which I think with Rodman was like the athleticism still kind of there, but the verbal things is like, I'm not going to back down because
and he's getting worse.
And you got a new generation coming along. Yeah. So these guys are, they're professionals,
I mean, we play
going overseas, so I don't think they're fazed by this trash talk because just the AAU circuit, like it's not exactly what it was 10, 15 years ago.
I just wonder if also is I don't know if Kerr's. I think he's the right coach, but like I just wonder, how much longer does he have in him? Like, do the players know that? Like, or is he in for the long haul? I've always wondered if I don't know. I've always wondered like how much longer he actually has left with him, like overall. I mean, I just kind of have always thought that the last couple of years as he's gotten a little bit kind of crazy with it. But I mean, if we go back to that Nurkic play though, like it's just one of those things where his reasoning, you're like, what? What? Like, I'm trying to draw a foul and you have a fisted hand go across at a 7'4" man's face or 7 foot. It's just like the reasoning, like, is the part for me. I love his game. His game is when he is on. Like I said, go watch Game 6, Warriors at Celtics. It's the best Draymond Green he's had. He haven't played better since then. That was it. Like, completely focused, Tyler. No big offshoot about anything. Just leveled in the whole time. That's what we need. Nico, I think you're back.
You guys hear me now?
Hey, what's up?
I want to hear
what's up?
I was on my phone. Sorry. This is.
You're all good.
He said he believes in Brock Purdy when he was out and cutting out.
Tyler cut you out. Tyler cut you out. Omaha. Nico, what do you got with it? Draymond. We were discussing a lot there. We were going over. We're talking about from the team perspective, letting him go to Kerr. Is he the right fit with all this? Him losing his mind. All that stuff. What are your thoughts on it? Just kind of from, I guess, the Draymond and the Warriors perspective.
And the spoiled Denver fan, I want to hear your thoughts.
The spoiled Denver fan. Okay. All right. So, well, first of all, my initial thoughts were why is this man still even rostered? And it's because of the team he's on. It's very, very funny how Tyler's greatest coach of all time kept defending him and defending him and defending him and defending him and just nothing. He has an opinion about everything. About everything. He has an opinion about the Suns soundboard, but he doesn't have an opinion about Draymond apparently, which is very interesting to me. I really hope that he figures it out. But in reality, what is the NBA going to tell him? Hey, you can't keep doing this. You know what all that means? Draymond's going to become irrelevant because that's the only reason why he was in the league still. Let's be honest with ourselves. He's not the defender he once was. He's not the rebounder he once was. The only reason why Draymond was in this league still was because, Steph Curry, number 30, is there for him to ride his jock a little longer. There's zero reason for him to be on this team still. There's zero reason for him to just even be a big-time player on a good team anymore. The Warriors have – and look, I can't remember the guy's name that works for ESPN now, but he jumped ship at the right time. Charles Barkley made that joke that they're about to be joining you. But Draymond, look, they're going to try to help him. They're going to try to help him, and I really do hope that he gets better with whatever he's going on. But you cannot sit here and tell me that this hasn't been going on for 8 years. Because there's a highlight.
He's been a stud on their team for a long time.
Yeah, it's not.
I said the last 18 months he's been. That's where I feel like he's
it's not until recently that this bad stuff that's been going on has affected the team. Because in the past, you could overlook it because he was a good player. He's no longer a big-time player in the league. He is not.
He doesn't have the other pieces bailing him out.
And he doesn't have people bailing him out. Exactly. Clay is not what he once was. Steph is getting older. Like, he does not have that to cover it up. And like I said, all the NBA is going to do is try to help him, try to get him better, try to get him fixed. And then he's going to walk back in the league and be a good guy? I mean, what does that do to anybody? It does nothing to anybody. It does nothing to anybody. The only reason why he's in this league is because he's an enforcer. Like I said, it's unfortunate, but Draymond realized that at this point in his career, the only reason why he got paid and why Jordan Poole was kicked off the team and that the team decided to ride with you was because you won them a chip and then you can still protect Curry's backside. Plain and simple. That's the only reason why you're still on this team. And all of a sudden, when you can't keep producing, you stop producing offensively, stop producing rebounding, are not as good a defender. All of a sudden, you start kicking people in the balls, putting people in headlocks, and wailing your arms around. And look, whether it was intentional or not, no one wailingly acts that badly around a guy with a hand on your hip, okay? No one. It's a hand on your freaking hip. Like I've seen a lot worse. You fall forward. You fall somewhere else if you think he's hooking you that badly or pushing you that badly. You don't turn around 360 whop the dude because whether or not you think he can connect with a guy's noggin that well, turning around, doesn't matter because the fact that he knew which way he was turning, where Nurkic was going to be, look, it's just hilarious. It's just hilarious because
I feel like you're enjoying this too much.
Right,
that's because look, this is the last dynasty. This is the most recent dynasty in basketball, and it's dying. It's dying a slow death because of number 23.
Can I play
Let my brother go here real quick. Tyler, hold on. Let Casey go. Let Casey go real quick. Go ahead, Casey.
Time in here, my fella, because you be roasting my Warriors, and I know we got the white marshmallow over there doing your thing, but we just got to talk about. First of all, don't ever slander Steph Curry.
I'm not. I'm by no means slandering him, but Draymond was the reason why Steph Curry did not get fouled as hard as some stars in the recent history. Because Draymond knew if you were going to even look at Steph the wrong way, Draymond, you're getting an elbow,
Kicking the ball.
the chest, kicking the nuts. That was Draymond's only use. And now that he's ineffective offensively, it means nothing.
No, I'll give you that, but I mean, he did get his contract because he was top 3 defensive player last year. And then, so, I mean, that's why the $100 million and, the Boston game 6. So he's still, when he's on the floor, he's still productive. Like, I would say he's just a little below an all-star player, but I think he still has those intangibles that Steph Curry, that core needs. And that's the problem, though, is at some point what Daren was talking about with the Robin, like, you need to get locked in where now it's like, you're a veteran now. You just got to play ball because these young cats they don't They don't.
Yeah, like Kuminga, Moody are probably like,
Well,
what the hell is going on?
There's no bite anymore.
Yeah.
There's no fear in the NBA of Draymond Green anymore. It's just like your taxes used to work during that dynasty. Yeah, you can still ball, but come on, we grown here. It's like these guys, like I said, like they don't fall for that shit no more. It's just like, all right, you want to say something to me? You want to be a fool? Get yourself a technical, get ejected. Game on. Here we go. Like it is the repeat thing. I mean, he's been ejected in technical half the season.
That's insane.
Ridiculous.
That's insane to think
Rasheed
about.
Wallace.
Nico, I gotta say though, like I said, like it's hard for me to. He's not the Daren Tyler I've talked to this many times. Not a perfect player. I get all that, blah blah blah. But I love his game when like he's focused. Like that's the type of player I want. When he's fully on, his defensive awareness is high level. His offensive IQ is high level. The only thing where now I feel like the same situation with Clay is, are they both willing to be subbed out? But the problem is we're not even talking about basketball things like that. We're talking about, can the man stay on the court for 12 minutes? You know what I mean? Like that's what it's come down to. Like I still think Draymond has moments where
12 minutes. He locked Gobert in the headlock in the first minute of that game. You mean 12 minutes? 12 minutes is generous.
Gobert.
I don't have love for Gobert, so I don't care. I was happy to see it. I don't like Nurkic either. So
maybe in some ways you enjoy it.
Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Go ahead, Chief.
You can be a fan of Draymond. First, I've never been a fan of. I mean, I've appreciated what Draymond did for the Warriors, but I've never been a fan of Draymond. Like I've always thought he'd live.
We have argued about this.
Psycho edge. I never thought he wouldn't even be an All-Star one time if he didn't play on the Warriors with Steph and Clay, and that's just my thoughts on it. Secondly, I mean, you are a fan of Jokic, who did a 4 WWE shiver to a Morris.
Oh, I know we ain't comparing the two.
Did the world. I understand.
I know we ain't comparing the two because we could go on and on about this.
The Warriors are good. The Warriors are not a good team anymore. They just suck. There's literally nobody good left except for.
How much would you like to
3
go
weeks
back?
ago you weren't singing that tune?
No, you're right. I was completely wrong
How
about
much-
the team.
How much would you like to go?
I was completely wrong about the team. The team sucks. Clay has nothing left. Draymond is a psychopath. Steph is good. Steph's good. Just play Steph, Podziemski, Moody, and Kuminga, and let's see what we have. Steph will be great. Podziemski, Moody, and Kuminga. I want to see what they have. I don't want to watch Clay anymore. Clay's my favorite Warrior of all time. And I'll defend Clay as an all-time player. He's better than – we won't get into that now. But at some point we will. But those are the 4 guys. I don't want to watch this Warriors team with Draymond and Clay anymore. It's done. It's burnt. It's overdone.
Unless they come off the bench.
But they still will suck. They
No, my point is if you play 20 minutes,
Draymond
I think 20 minutes is all right.
Trade Draymond to his gay lover LeBron.
We knew it was over when Kerr
and have fun in Vegas and do their thing. I don't.
Tyler, Casey,
I'm over Draymond. You want to go visit Draymond or go visit LeBron in Las Vegas? Get the fuck off the Warriors. It's so sickening that you guys won't defend this guy at all. Like it makes me sick as a Warriors fan. To say anything good.
I didn't defend him on the ejections. I defended him on the player on the court.
In the middle of the season after LeBron wins a championship.
I ripped on him. I said that was ridiculous. I said you're one of my best friends, and I would never do that.
I appreciate that. But even on the court, don't even.
I would probably hope that you lose so you couldn't rub it in my face.
It makes me sick as a Warriors fan that he's on the roster and this is allowed. That makes me more sick than him giving a backhanded punch to Jurkic. Go ahead. I mean, yeah, you should get suspended indefinitely, but just I don't know. It makes me.
What does indefinitely mean? Like legit? Like what? Steve Kerr.
I think it's 20 games.
Yeah, I think it's at minimum 10. At minimum 10. Like he had 5 for Gobert. I think at minimum he's not playing for 10. So that's no Christmas Day matchup between us, unfortunate for Draymond. But look, how different would this team be if it had Jordan Poole and not Draymond Green? How different would if they would have decided, hey, Draymond,
Poole would have been in a better spot.
Do you think that you'd be in a better spot now, or do you think that Draymond, the effect he has on the team, you think that still would have been better than what Jordan Poole's done? Look, Jordan Poole's been terrible in Washington.
Draymond.
He was good when he was there.
It would have been to me. It would have just been at this point the way Draymond's played, it would have been mute. It would have been basically the same. I think the thing for Poole it would have given him is way more confidence. But well, that's the thing we'll never know. That's why I was against the trade with Paul for Paul there. But
Chris Paul, everyone knows I hate Chris Paul. Chris Paul,
I never
making an older team older. Who in the world thought that was ever going to be a good idea? I mean, Chris Paul is a cancer to every locker room he steps in, and he'll never win a ring. Plain and simple, he'll never win a ring. I will stand on that. He'll never win a ring because he's not willing to take a back seat to anybody. To everybody. Doesn't matter if he has Steph Curry on the floor. He's going to be the one. You know what? This mid range looks good to me. Fuck Steph Curry. Let me. It's my time to shine. Nah, Chris Paul will never win anything.
He took the Suns to the NBA Finals. We're up 2-0.
You sure it wasn't Devin Booker? DeAndre Ayton?
I think they were out of the playoffs the year before, or an 8 seed before Curry.
He helped them, but he was not.
Paul's a stud. I'm not going to rip on Paul. He's a flopper.
But let's not do. I understand.
He's a flopper. That's why I don't like him. I've never liked him.
I didn't like Paul before. When he was on the Clippers, I thought he was a fucking asshole. He was terrible. Flopper.
He's like Draymond a little bit, but he's not as big to do this stuff.
I thought Clay would be much better. I thought Draymond would stay the same. And I thought Chris Paul would be a nice backup, Sean Livingston-like replacement. Someone who can hit a mid-range jumper, control the second unit, where Jordan Poole can do that. And I was wrong. It's been terrible. It's not a good mix.
They can still turn it around, though. It's still plenty of time.
It's been terrible. The Warriors,
they have plenty of time to come back and play the Nuggets in the first round and beat them. We got plenty of time to get to that.
Get to that play, and we'll see.
I just think they suck. I think they're a lottery team. I think they're a top 5 pick. And it's a terrible draft class.
I think that. I mean, obviously, it went back to 2020, the draft. I mean, ultimately, that was their chance to kind of really extend the dynasty. They blew it on Wiseman, and you know what I mean. Like, let's just say that in a different world, T. Wolves pass on Edward. You know what I mean? Something like that. That's where you really have now.
And look, I think that Bob Myers and the Warriors thought, you know what, let's try to extend this as much as we could, and they did.
Had an opportunity, to be honest.
They did. And plain and simple, they did. You guys did extend it because you won another championship outside of your prime.
Not extend the
way you thought you did.
Yeah,
exactly. And the extension that you should have thought about was like, you know what? Like, yeah, we want to win one more championship, but we want to win 2 or 3 more. That's the greediness of it. Is like you won one more championship, but if you have the greatest shooter of all time on your team, and all you did was you drafted guys and got rid of them within 2 years.
I thought they blew it. I thought they blew it when they took Wiseman. It's like in my head, I'm like, okay, you're the Warriors. You're playing a small lineup half the time, but you're going to take a big guy that I saw in 3 games in Memphis. I saw him because we were starting to get into this whole thing with. I was like, I was a little worried about some of the things offensively. I was trying to pump myself up about it, but then you have these guys like Halliburton slip through, and you're just like. They just didn't have the balls to take a guy from Iowa State in the 2nd pick overall. That's the bottom line. They probably knew he was the better player, but they didn't have. You know what I mean? There's like, but Wiseman's 7'2" or what? You know what I mean? It's just like
it's a play devil's advocate. Like think back to 2020. Who were the top 2 teams in the Western Conference Finals? Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, right? Yeah. Right. So you got to think to yourself, hey, if we think we can compete with these guys, which they didn't realize that they would have another window open. They thought it'd be closing. They thought, you know what, Wiseman could be a guy that could guard those 2 guys and be an offensive threat in the middle. And honestly, that was probably the best thought process on draft night. Obviously, looking back, it hurts. But like when you look at the way the big men game has evolved, especially just from COVID, like especially the Western Conference with Cat, with Gobert, with Jokic, with Anthony Davis, it's like you almost need a big to guard them. And the Warriors obviously were able to do it without one. But like I said, maximizing that window, they maximized their window. You want to know a championship. But right now you have a top 10 player of all time, arguably the best point guard of all time on your team still, and you're sitting in the lottery. That's terrible.
Everybody waiting for that Jordan.
We beat the Nuggets on our way to a championship with Nickelodeon.
I'm not arguing. I am not saying one bad thing about that championship.
Said we couldn't beat a big without a big, and Draymond was guarding the big.
And
he owned Jokic.
What I said was you optimized it. You won your championship when you without him, but you are irrelevant right now. And that's because you wouldn't try to build around what you needed to do. And you thought, you know what, Draymond could do this for another 15 years. He couldn't do it for another 2.
Nico,
where
you're right
Draymond
about
was guarding
what cost us more championships was not saying to Kevin Durant when Draymond called him a bitch, we'll do whatever it takes to get you back on the team. We'll get rid of Draymond. We'll get rid of anybody you want. Have the franchise with Steph. That's what we should have been doing as a Warrior franchise, what Bob Myers, what Steve Kerr should have been doing, in my opinion. And that was my argument when it all happened. Why are we letting go a top 3 player in NBA
For Draymond.
at the time, top 2 probably, maybe even number 1?
Yeah.
And then a top 10 player in NBA history, in my opinion. I know a lot of people will say it's a little lower, top 15. I think he's a top 10 player in NBA history. He's just ridiculous. How do you let him go? Like, I know he wanted to go in a way. Like, he was, like, looking for a way out. I'm not letting him go. I'm doing whatever he wants except for getting rid of Steph.
Yeah, you say if he wants to trade Klay Thompson, you get rid of Klay Thompson.
Yeah,
there's only one person.
I love Klay, as I've said multiple times. He's my favorite player in Warriors history. I fucking love Klay. I think Klay's underappreciated. But to keep Kevin Durant on the roster with Steph Curry, yeah, absolutely.
You do anything you can, and look, this team. Yeah, this team has shot itself in the foot, and like I said, you won a championship outside your window, and that's the most important thing. And I think that's the thing that all Warriors fans can ride their cap on, including you two. But at the same time, you're like, you know what? We still have an all-time great. Why are we not competitive? That's the biggest problem. It's like why are we not competitive? Why are we losing to teams we shouldn't be? We're 1 year away from being a second-round team that almost made it to the Western Conference Finals, losing to the Lakers. Like,
they're a dumb team, Nico. They're a dumb team to finish a game. I hate to say it. Like,
now, right?
They've been a dumb team. They were a dumb team last year. They've been a dumb team in the past.
Is that on Kerr? Is that on Steph?
No, it's the players. Kerr can't go out there and you pass a ball with 20 seconds left when you're up.
I'm with you.
It's like, my God. It's like, holy moly, guac. Curry, you don't have to lob a pass. Draymond, you're not fouling people with 3. You're not. Some of this stuff, like, I blame Kerr for a lot. That stuff I can't blame him for. That stuff is stupid. Like, Kerr, to me, lost me when that one game. I know, Nico, you probably not as hardcore as this with some of these things, but Moody was absolutely on fire in a fourth quarter game against the Kings, and he brought Klay in for Moody.
I know. I remember seeing that,
and I just remember thinking in my time, I go, he's afraid to tell Klay you're benched. Like, I don't. In my head, that's what I was thinking. I was like, because
benched him last game. To be honest,
I know, but my point is, at the moment in that game, I was like, that is not a winning move by a coach. If you're like, that's like, I have loyalty to a player.
And I hate to keep stroking the ego of my team, but that's one thing Michael Malone has been able to do better than most coaches the last year and a half. Was look, he benched Michael Porter Jr. He benched Aaron Gordon for Jeff Green and Bruce Brown in the NBA Finals. Like, that's something that not a lot of people would have done. He finished that game 3 and game 4 with Bruce Brown and Jeff Green in the game and won it. Like, these coaches have to be able to evolve. And I think Steve Kerr right now is just too scared because look, he's too scared of hurting the feelings of the guys who've built what he has.
He started pods tonight.
Look, Wiggins doesn't mean shit to that franchise. Okay?
Bench Wiggins, yeah, he did that.
Yeah, look, Wiggins is the biggest hot in the pan I've ever seen. The fact he was an NBA All-Star starter is beyond my imagination.
Not playoff performance though, like he had is to me the best basketball he'll ever play. There's nothing he will not reach that peak.
Look at the rebounding numbers Wiggins had in those playoff games ago.
Yeah, they're unreal.
This guy's a legit NBA player, and then you look
like
at
he took steroids for 2
They go from like 9 to 2. Like, it's insane how bad.
Wasn't it like he took steroids though, Tyler?
Yeah,
like,
he was unbelievable. He'd go out, get every rebound.
You're like, this guy hit 50 home runs back to back.
Like, he'd do everything for us, all the dirty work, and then like these regular season games. Since he had the good season after the NBA championship, but this year in the second half of last year, since whatever he missed those games for when his dad was sick or whatever happened, he's been god awful. He doesn't have any heart. He doesn't there's no try hard in him. He gets 2 rebounds a game. It's back to Minnesota where it's like, oh, just collecting a paycheck.
2 rebounds.
I'm here to play basketball. Whatever happens, happens. It's embarrassing. And
it was like why I used to rip on Aaron Gordon a lot back in the day. My Magic days.
And he turned into, and I'm an Arizona fan. I loved Daren Gordon coming out of and going to Orlando, and then I just lost faith in him. And then he turned into the Arizona guy. I was like, oh, he's playing defense. He's blocking shots. He's guarding the best player.
What team are you worried about, Nico? Is it the Bucks? If you had to say, is that the main team?
No. No, it's not even the Lakers. The Lakers don't scare me at all. It's weird. It's weird saying this, and I know you two are going to look at me like I'm an absolute fool, but it's the Minnesota Timberwolves. The
You're
Minnesota,
an idiot.
the
Go
Minnesota.
for it.
Listen to me. Let me get to my point before you butt in here. The Minnesota Timberwolves are built to beat the Denver Nuggets. Let's Jim Connolly, the guy who was the Denver Nuggets GM, now in Minnesota, left before we won the championship last year. He built that team to stop Nikola Jokic, stop Jamal Murray. Plain and simple. There isn't a team that is more suited to stop Nikola Jokic in the postseason than the Minnesota Timberwolves. Plain and simple. AD one-on-one, Jokic has already proved that he can do that. You throw Gobert and Cat at the same time in him, it affects a lot of different things. Anthony Edwards, who's a very, very improved defender as well, have him on Jamal Murray, you're making Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. be the number one guys.
Yeah.
They are built to beat the Denver Nuggets. And that's all Minnesota thinks about right now. It's like, you know what? If we can overcome this team, then we have a real shot at an NBA title. And
How have they done this year in the regular season against you guys? They beat you twice?
They beat us. They beat us twice already, I think. I know we lost. Maybe we've only played them once, but I know we lost them really, really bad.
Well, Edwards took a jump for sure.
Edwards is a dude. He's an absolute dude.
Took a jump.
And Minnesota's depth is what scares me too, because you have Jaden McDaniels, who's a great defender too. And Mike Conley, people sleep on Mike Conley. He's one of the most underrated point guards of this generation. The guy just comes in, plays ball, and just goes to bed. Like plain and simple. He comes in, does his work, and doesn't. And no, look, you know what you're get from him every single night, and he does a great job doing it. And yeah, Minnesota is the team that scares me the most. The Lakers, I don't. In season tournament. Whatever.
Who is it? They have that guy I like too. Was it Wilt Reed? Wilt Chamberlain?
Nas Reed. Yeah, not Wilt Reed.
I call Wilt Chamberlain Reed because every time he plays the Warriors, he has like 30 points. I'm like, but I love players like him where, like, those are like he's like the type of players where I agree where they kind of take teams. He got paid a little more than maybe I would have liked to build a complete team, but he still has that type of good player where you're like, this guy just shuts his mouth. And he gets you like 20 maybe, and then if not, he's going to give you solid minutes. He can shoot. He's weird the way he scores around the basket. It's almost like he grew up like he almost like didn't go to college basketball in a weird way. I know he did, but like he kind of plays with his a weird up and under game, a little bit under the hoop. It's like it's just really unique style, and I'm like, God, I'm jealous of that third player.
And look, they have three dudes over 7 foot that can all score really in different ways and score in different ways.
He's starting on the Warriors.
He could start on a lot of teams in this league. Yeah. Like he is that good, and that's why I say like they're
interesting
the most. And it's not just and look, we got over the Lakers hump and LeBron hump in my opinion.
Not the Mavericks at all.
Kyrie, we don't know about Kyrie's injury, and Luka's hot and cold. But if you stop Luka, that team's nothing. Okay, I'm not going to be banking on anybody else to beat me, especially if Kyrie's injured. So Mavericks don't worry me. Minnesota's the team. I will say Sacramento, if they get hot at the right time, that's an interesting team. But it's Minnesota, and it's very, very easily Minnesota. I would say Phoenix. That's the other team. But we saw their first game, their big three. We are, 40 games in already? 30 games? 30 games in the season already? And that's their first time they've played together. I said it before the season started. This trio won't play 30 games together this season. They won't. They won't. Plain and simple. They won't. So when you get to the postseason, we'll see if they know what to do. That's the thing. And KD's an all-world player. Devin Booker, all-world player. Bradley Beal, he's a good regular season player. I've never seen him outside of a couple of years in Washington where their first-round exits done anything in the postseason. So it's a very, very raw team. But Minnesota is a team that is very, very scary. That people need to take more seriously.
It was kind of like the Grizzlies were for the Warriors for a little bit. We're at the very beginning years when they started it. It was like they played that different style where it was like, it's gonna be such a grind against them. Like, remember that, Tyler? It was gonna be like, this is not the team you want to play. That's interesting take. What are your thoughts on that, T?
I still hate the Grizzlies to this day. To the Minnesota.
We love you, Memphis Twitter. We love you.
I love my Memphis guys. They follow us.
I got Ant retweeted our show. Of
course. I love the other guys on 3 the Hardaway, but the Timberwolves. You guys are way better than Nikola Jokic
Yes, we do.
He makes everything easy. You guys
does,
are way
he does.
better. You have Aaron Gordon. I think Jamal Murray is very overrated because he plays with Nikola Jokic, and I'm trying to hurt your feelings in a little bit.
Oh, crazy
Nico-
product of his environment. Sounds like a familiar conversation that we had an hour ago, huh?
And I've
Product of his environment.
heard you defend Jamal Murray as the top 5 push guard. It's absurd. You downplay Kyrie Irving. I think the Mavericks are your problem if Kyrie Irving has his head on straight,
They
which
don't have
is
the
a big
bigs,
if.
though.
I don't care. Jokic is going to dominate all the bigs. Jokic is going to do his
Rudy
thing.
Gobert
He'd
is
be the
my
Bucks
thing.
for me.
Rudy Gobert is the best
On
defensive.
the East, yeah. The Bucks, Giannis and Dame can do
That's what I said,
anything.
the Bucks
But
for
on
me.
the Western Conference,
Yeah.
it has to be the Mavericks to me. You have 2 guys who just can make absurd shots, and if for four games out of 7, they are both on fire, you're going to lose because they're that good.
What?
And as much as good as Jamal Murray is the Draymond Green of
Oh,
the.
hold
on.
on. Finish
If
that
he doesn't
sentence.
play with Nikola Jokic, he's not an all-star. He's okay. He's a good point
I
guard.
would say 4
He's
times.
a good point guard.
Scoring 50 points 4 different times in the bubble, I think, would beg to differ. Is all
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
want to talk
say.
about the bubble
So-
when you're playing in a high school gym? Good job. You played in a high school
dropping
gym. You
40
played in an open gym. No one cared. Good job. Give that Mickey Mouse trophy to him. Oh, who else did that? Oh, the guy in the Pacers. He's not even in the league anymore.
Donovan Mitchell,
PJ Warren was
perennial
like
all-star.
the 3rd highest scorer in the NBA in the bubble. Stop. Don't give me bubble talk.
I'm just saying.
Thank
Jamal
you.
Murray has
Carry on.
Jamal Murray dropped 45 in an NBA Finals game. Okay, so I don't want. Has Draymond dropped more than 30 in an NBA Finals?
Yeah,
game?
he dropped 30 in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and they lost.
Oh, that's right. They lost. That's
Hey,
right.
Draymond beat the
that
Atlanta Hawks in
series.
2007.
That
Fault,
series.
though.
Hey, if they don't play without
Come on,
Draymond, their
Nico.
record's bad too.
Look, when I look at when you say like what team scares me the most, I look at matchups more than anything. Right?
Yeah.
You look at the matchups defensively. I'll speak on the Timberwolves because that's the team I point out. Rudy Gobert, obviously, on Nikola Jokic. Karl Anthony Towns, Aaron Gordon matchup. You have KCP on Anthony Edwards. Those are 3 really good matchups across the board, defensively, offensively, that are going to be tough. Anthony Edwards probably beats over KCP, definitely does, and then Gobert, Jokic has the edge, but Cat and AG, that's a toss-up in my opinion. And then you look at the point guard play between Jamal Murray and Mike Conley. That's a hell of a series. That is a series that go 1-1 together. When I look at the Mavericks, I see Luka Doncic. I see Kyrie Irving. I see Aaron Gordon be able to guard Luka. Okay, fine. Guard him. KCP on Kyrie Irving. Okay, great. You can hide bad defenders much easier against the Dallas Mavericks than you can against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Plain and simple. Because you can put good one-on-one players because they're great one-on-one players. Plain and simple. Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic are great one-on-one players. But when it comes to a team aspect, the Minnesota Timberwolves top to bottom can be more deadly offensively against the Denver Nuggets team that has 2 really good defenders but are a little iffy everywhere else.
I still worry about Gobert in the playoffs.
Well, obviously that remains to be seen.
No, I know that's just my
No. It's not remains to be seen. It's not remains to be seen. We've seen the Clippers put Terrence Mann in the corner, and he made Gobert unplayable.
He there is no denying he is spotty offensively, but I know what I'm going to get defensively from him every single night. And in this matchup against the Denver Nuggets, all I need him to do is defend Nikola Jokic.
That's true.
Plain and simple. That's all I have to do because I don't need offense. Because the way the Timberwolves have figured out their lineup is they've said, you know what? Gobert, we don't need you to score offensively. We know we can get Ant to drop 30, 40 a night. You know, Cat, he's one of the best big men, not the best, but one of the best big man shooters of all time. You can put him out there, stretch the floor. That's why they built this team like this, because they know Gobert, he doesn't have to be the offensive focal point like he was in Utah, where he was the second option, and Donovan Mitchell couldn't do anything, and Gobert had to be that second option. He doesn't have to be a second option. He doesn't have to be a third option, technically, with Mike Conley. Like that's where he gets hidden and why it's so much more different, because I look at Dallas, who the hell's guarding Jokic? Like Gobert.
Nobody's guarding Jokic.
Gobert can guard
guarding Jokic. Nobody guarding Jokic. I don't
want to look, nobody can.
Jokic. He's
nobody
the greatest
can.
center I've ever seen.
Nobody can, but Gobert has one of the best chances.
But the
Draymond
chance
gave
is
Jokic
1%.
trouble. You gotta admit that too. He did.
Can I ask Daren a question because he's hosting? I want to hear him speak for the extended time on somebody, and then Nico, you can respond. Is Ant Edwards gonna be a top 5? Is he the next Kobe Bryant, the next shooting guard in the NBA? Because when is the last time we've seen a shooting guard like be the one of the best players in the NBA? Because Clay, I would say, was. I know a lot of people would say Harden, but he was not a shooting guard in my opinion. Is he the next best shooting guard in the NBA? Like that is gonna like be like, he might be top 20 in NBA history, top 30.
He's figured out all 3 levels. So that's the difference. He's figured out how to get his shot off consistently at all 3 levels. He kind of struggled a little. I mean, he's a great player, so he would get hot from 3, but like I felt like the shots were forced sometimes when he'd have big.
But I want your personal opinion, not what he's done, but like what you.
No, I think he's a stud.
He's gonna do in the future.
Yeah, I think because of those things I've seen, I think he's going to be one of the top 5 players every year in the NBA. I think I'd be surprised if he, I put that list up when I did that double pod with him. I put like 9 players up of guys that are going to win all the championships in the next 10 years. You know what I mean? Like he's on that list.
He was part of that.
Yeah, it's like him and Booker. You know what I mean? Like the main young guys that are there with it. Like those are the guys that are going to winning these championships. Jokic, I guess you can still pin in that, but like, I mean, he's a little bit younger than that. So that's where it's at with it. And he's a stud. And like I said, because of you have the dunking, that sets everything up. But like I said, like as somebody that true basketball fan, that's why my thing was the 3 levels. Like he set up everything. Like second, now he gets to the elbow, fades. He makes the shot so much easier. Like instead of spinning move back to between the levels, like no. Just go 2 dribbles to the right, jump higher than everybody, and shoot the ball. So he's like understanding that concept a lot easier, and it's like he's a freak. So once he gets that, he's going to be a stud. The Kobe part, I don't know. He's not as natural a scorer as he, like in that sense. Like,
well, nobody. I mean,
that's what I mean. Like
Kobe
if you're saying
natural scorer.
No,
is he the next natural scorer? Like outside of drawing fouls, I hate guys who draw fouls. I like discredit them as natural scorers,
as they all should.
Like I feel like Jordan, Kobe, and then like I mean I don't want to put him on this level. And Anthony Edwards like that because he is that athletic. He can shoot the ball.
He's like Tracy McGrady.
Can he develop? Like we don't know it yet.
No, he's more in the McGrady category.
I think T-Mac is
McGrady's there. McGrady's on that.
I think T-Mac's a perfect.
Okay, I like to hear that.
I think that's a perfect comp because the way McGrady was able to be able to get shots off over everybody and also be able to attack the rim on anybody, I think that you're seeing that from Ant. I think the thing with Ant is he's gaining confidence more and more with the guys around him, and I think that's a massive thing because he realized that like. The Wolves team, the Timberwolves team is good enough every night to be like, you know what, if you can get us 18 to 21 points, like it may not be your night, but there's still a good chance we can win every night. And that's what he's realizing. He's like, you know what, I can come out here and be a scorer, be the guy on this team that can also affect this game in different ways, defensively and feeding the ball, passing the ball to other guys around him. That he's figuring out much quicker than a lot of players his age have. Plain and simple. As you look at guys like. I know you hate this team, and it's kind of a similar comparison of that jump, especially after what they did last year was John Morant and the Grizzlies. John Morant took a massive jump last year, massive jump.
I love John Morant.
Obviously, things have changed in the past year of what that team has been, but you saw that jump he's made, and what Ant is doing. It's almost identical. It's almost identical. Yeah. And I would argue and say that the Timberwolves team is much better than what the Grizzlies were last year.
Nico, Daren brought up a good player who I think with Maxey could stop the Nuggets in the NBA Finals and be right there with the with the Bucks. I know that Jokic and Embiid have their rivalry, and I think I don't know who it is. You were
what rivalry? Embiid hasn't made an Eastern Conference Finals yet.
I mean, he won an MVP last year. And we've seen the tweets. I've seen it from far end of the. Come on, you tweeted about Embiid in the past. Embiid just doesn't stand a chance, and then Jokic is that much better. Like you're worried about Gobert, but you're not worried about Embiid.
Well, first of all, Embiid he needs to prove it to me in the playoffs because he's proven.
But Gobert hasn't proven it.
He hasn't. But Anthony Edwards did to me last year, and he's not
Fair
the number one guy. The Sixers' number one guy has done nothing in the playoffs.
You're
Look,
right. Let's ask it. I want this response out of you. Keep going.
Maxey is a hell of a player. I still have a remain to be seen whether he can be a number 2 on a championship.
I don't believe in Maxey as a number 2 player.
Look, people said the same thing about Jamal Murray. Plain simple.
I don't believe in Jamal Murray outside of playing with Jokic.
But what we're saying here is Jokic was able to figure out that if Jamal Murray is on the same level as Tyrese Maxey, which was Tyler saying, some people are saying.
Hold on. Murray is better than Maxey, but
yes.
Jokic is better than Embiid.
But before
they're not winning, they're both not winning. One is number 1.
Exactly. Before Nuggets won a championship, Jamal Murray was looked at as like, you know what, he's a second fiddle, and he'll never be anything more than that. Third fiddle some nights, maybe a fourth fiddle. He's not even the guy. And what he proved last year was that he can be a number 2 on a championship team. And Maxey right now, he's a hell of a player, but Embiid has shown me that being a number 1 on a team, you can't hide Maxey. Plain simple. Like Jokic is able to hide Jamal Murray's a few flaws he has. Jokic is that good of a player to hide some of the flaws AG, Michael Porter Jr. has defensively, Jamal Murray has defensively. He's able to hide some of these things because how good he is. Embiid has not been willing to do that, not been able to do that at all. So, and look, Maxey's a hell of a player, and Embiid's a hell of a player, but they have not been able to get past the second round of playoffs, and this is the third or fourth year of this unit together outside Ben Simmons, right? At some point, Embiid is going to call for a trade. He's going to be a New York Knick. I will bet on that. I will bet on that because he is going to get sick and tired of stars coming in and out. He's going to get sick and tired of it because at some point, you'd enjoy that, wouldn't you? Look,
where's the John Grissom novel?
Who did that?
Ben Simmons came, went. Jimmy Butler came, went. James Harden came, went, and this team has never been to a conference finals as a unit.
I think
you're talking about Simmons. Obviously, maybe the outlier here, but 3 guys that are damn good players in this league that are playing every single night, plain simple. And you have came and watched them go, and you have not been able to get past the second round of playoffs. And look, that goes to your star player, plain simple. Because
I think that goes to the GM, and they signed Tobias Harris and didn't sign Jimmy Butler.
Oh, absolutely. That was the worst.
I think there's some player accusations.
Jimmy Butler on the Sixers team, they have a championship. Plain simple. I'll be honest, because the Heat with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo have been to 2 NBA finals.
The Heat are fucking terrible. The Eastern Conference is trash.
I
don't want to hear about it.
They have a coach that knows how to manipulate.
Fuck the coach. The coach knows
how to. He does.
Okay.
No, he does.
Who can run Gabe Vincent.
No.
Vincent.
I disagree.
Look at Max Strus. What's Max Strus doing? They're not good players.
Whatever you want to say it, they get to the final. They win a lot.
They're
so that's all you can say. However you want.
I'm not impressed.
I'm impressed that he can win with that crap. I'm impressed that he understands that Bam does.
He played crap.
The Celtics.
So was Steve Kerr.
The Celtics weren't terrible.
The Steve Kerr beat your fucking Nuggets.
I know he has, but Steve Kerr's played crap, and outside of one finals run, they've been a mediocre team at best.
The best win they had was the Thunder one, obviously, is what I say. That Thunder series.
What are we doing with Durant when we have Durant? We're beating every team in the league.
I'm talking post-Durant era. I'm talking post-Durant era because you have
the Grizzlies series was a good win.
We're 32 years old.
He's had a couple big wins in the series. I thought he outcoached the other team a few times. Kurt.
The Grizzlies with a prime jaw, prime brain.
And he coached McHale, obviously, at the Rockets. He outcoached. What was the other? He outcoached Billy Donovan in the Thunder series. There was a few where he outcoached.
We beat Durant. We beat Westbrook.
We beat Anthony Robinson.
Hey, see, we're talking about the Miami Heat. We can go Spoelstra that far back too, right?
Yeah, when he had LeBron James.
Yeah, you had Kevin Durant. You're making the argument for having Kevin Durant, though.
Yeah.
Who in the East is good?
Who in the East was good? You beat Paul George. You beat Popovich.
Paul George with who? Paul George with who?
Look, the East was bad. We all know the East is bad.
Yeah, the East was terrible.
Okay? But I'm not going to sit here and say that. You cannot sit here and say, oh, because look at how good Steve Kerr was with Kevin Durant. You can't be like, oh, Spoelstra being a good coach of LeBron.
You can't go with
Tyler's out of his mind.
And like, look how good they were.
Tyler's lost his mind if he says Spoelstra didn't get them help.
Spoelstra has figured out new ways to win with new groups. Plain and simple.
He adapts to the way they play.
He's the second longest tenured head coach in the NBA.
And his teams freaking play hard for him.
Exactly. That's all. And look, there's not many coaches that would have survived post LeBron era. And look at the coaches that LeBron has.
He's making this UCLA guy a stud.
Mike Brown did not last another season in Cleveland when LeBron left. You look at Tyronn Lue didn't last 2 more seasons.
I'm with you.
David Blatt didn't last another season. He's not coaching the NBA anymore. Who else on the list?
Tyler, I
think
think
who's the GM of the Heat?
It's Pat Riley.
What hair?
The GM of the Heat.
It's Pat Riley.
Darren.
Pat Riley. It's Pat fucking Riley.
Okay.
It's Patrick fucking Riley. It absolutely is.
He's not on the court. He's not coaching the
I'm
game.
going to do what I want to do. I'm going to have my guy be my coach.
Babe, do this now. I got you in the ear.
My owner is pressuring me to do this. I have Pat Riley.
He gets the most out. He gets the most out of less. That's all I'm saying.
Pat Riley has stepped away more and more since LeBron's left. I have that.
He's the Mike Tomlin of football.
He's done less and less.
He's the Mike Tomlin of football.
Spoelstra is a great coach. I'm not gonna let people diminish Kerr.
No, he's
not what I'm
not. Kerr and him are the same level. That's where they're at. They're both like the same type of coach.
Yeah, but people do diminish Kerr, and I think
and people diminish Spoelstra.
I don't think they do.
Kerr deserves a lot more praise than people do now because of all the years he had to deal with fucking Draymond. I don't know if I could deal with Draymond.
Remember the famous one?
Fucking God. Fatboy FadeAway, you heard it second here. I've said it for years.
I don't know if I can deal with Draymond more than a week, let alone 10 years. Fuck that.
I don't know if I can deal with Draymond. I don't know if I can deal with Tyler agreeing with you that passionately. All right, as we kind of wrap it up here on the podcast, one little quick notes here before we get out of here. That was a fun podcast. We got to get you guys on the double-double with me and Doug. We just go full out. We go hardcore basketball on that. We're breaking down Madden.
I definitely have some arguments with Doug.
You and Doug on your – you guys disagree about on everything as well, kind of like you and Nico when it comes to a few things as well.
Nico's great. I love Nico.
No, Nico, I appreciate you.
I love you guys. I always love
disagreements.
No, it's great.
Look, it's fun disagreeing with people that know what they're talking about. That's the best part. Is like I know that like if I'm disagreeing with someone that's an idiot, then it's something else. But if I'm disagreeing with someone that knows what they're talking about, like we don't agree with the same thing, but we both know what we're talking about, and we'll be okay in the end. So it's all that matters.
It's only a game, Tyler. Right? I learned that this week in 7th grade basketball. It's only a game. All right, it's only a game, folks.
I can't wait to hear about your 7th grade.
We'll do it. Let's just put it this way: I have a new play called Belinda. All right, you can take what you want to do.
What's the little Giants play called? Like the Puerto Rican.
Well, I had this play in basketball where basically it's an inbound play for the sideline, and for years I've called it Susie. I don't know why. I just always call it Susie. We run it, and then I got to do it. This lady got mad at me on this team the other day, so now in honor of her, the play is called Belinda. So we're gonna call it Belinda. So that's gonna be the play from this point on. Hey, real quick, couple notes I got to go before we get out of here. I just want your quick thoughts on maybe not forever on it, but just quick things. And they're gonna be different sports. So, Tyler. Ohtani, 10 years, $700 million in the Rockies division as well. There, Nico, right?
Wait, the Rockies. There's a team in Colorado that plays baseball. Shoot! I didn't know that.
Baseball there, right there. We got to give the little Ohtani love there. And then what was the thing that was my favorite part? We didn't get to talk about it last week as much, but I want to mention it now. And we talked about on Talking the Gridiron. Patrick Mahomes, just that reaction. It really actually satisfied my Monday. When I was coming in there to just like, they ruined a Hall of Fame play. I was like, this is absolute gold. Like, I mean, you can't even like make
Nico, you can go first.
You can't script this any better. The NFL script writers.
I was like, and then after the game, if I was Josh Allen, I would have just been like, You can see Josh Allen's face. Are you out of your mind complaining to me about Anthony call?
I said on talking to Green, I was like, you can argue a pass interference. You can argue a holding call. You can't argue someone lining up off sides.
I know.
What do you want to do? Like,
You took it away. He's been talking about it on his podcast with Taylor for months.
That man's been hanging out with Taylor, Travis, and Brittany way too often. My man needs to get in the playbook a little more, obviously.
Sideshow Bob.
I mean, isn't that even different than the Terrell Owens one? Like, I was trying to think of
it's way different.
Compare this to it. Like, that's my quarterback. Like, I was trying
to
think.
Owens was crying. There was tears down his eyes.
Yeah, this was like more just like what? Like, it felt like that type of deal.
This was like your girlfriend like arguing for you and like come on, relax. I can figure it out on my own.
Yeah,
like it's insane. Like, I don't even know how to like. I was so like disappointed in a way because everybody loves Patrick Mahomes outside of maybe Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers fans. Like, not love because I don't love it. He beat me in the Super Bowl. I don't love him. I fucking hate him. But like, if I feel like he's the Steph Curry of the NFL, where he's like kind of like loved automatically because he's exciting to watch. He makes plays that aren't there to be made, and it makes him the GOAT of our time. This is such a bad look. It made me sick. I know
Darren and I are enjoying the hell out of it.
This is the most crybaby shit I've ever seen. I don't want to see you. I'm never rooting for you again. Not that I do, because I rooted for the Patriots. I love Tom Brady.
What was the worst part?
I'll root for the Patriots. I'll root for those game managers.
What was the worst part?
I root for those guys. I don't want the
part or the end.
Like,
yeah,
I want the guys who get the ball out on time and are exciting to watch. Get it into a playmaker's hand.
Okay, but hold on.
It's just crazy.
What part was worse, though? The part after with Josh Allen or the part in the post game? Like, to me, those are two separate. Like, to go up to another player. I mean, you do this with Premier League lacrosse, right? Like, you guys play competitive games all the time. Like, there is, like you maybe you've even gone through it this year, like, with other guys. You shake their hands and you see it, and they're like, what in the world is that? Like, it's just, like, weird. It's like, do you not understand the mannerisms of how sports work? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just like weird deals, like with it. Like Patrick Mahomes, man, you talk about a guy that was like, I am owed this, that, and this. It's like that was what that came down to. It was ridiculous, my man.
The Taylor Swift, I deserve everything because my team is.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
It was a Hall of Fame play.
I think Travis handled it well. Mahomes.
Travis handled it well, yeah. Travis handled it well, but the team in its identity as a whole has realized,
and Mahomes.
We're not only the Kansas City team, we're all the Swifties teams now. There's more Chiefs gear flying around off the shelves than anything in this team's history because of one person or one woman. That's the only reason why it's not the only reason why this team's irrelevant because they're a great damn football team. It has made this team to a point where they've become prima donnas and sissies to the fact that they're owed everything, and that Patrick Mahomes is a holier than everyone else, and that they will never do anything wrong. And now you're ruining Hall of Fame plays. That's what we're calling Hall of Fame fucking plays. I died laughing. I really did. I saw that. I was like, is this? I didn't double check because you have all those AI sounds. I was like, is this Kermit the Frog or something that actually said this? Was this someone that covered this up that actually dubbed it over? Then I kept seeing it and I was like, oh, that's real. That's very real. And a real NFL football player said that calling a penalty that is in the rule book, it's something the refs have to do. They have to call it. Is saying that ruin a tight end's career and tight end's Hall of Fame career is blasphemy. Look, I saw the highlights. That's not the first time he did that all game.
Yeah.
He did it consistently.
He did it 3 or 4 times, and people were saying, well, he checked with the judge. No, he didn't. You saw him.
He looked over for half a second.
He was like that. He's like, I'm good. He literally, it was like, I'm good to call. That's all it was. He's like, I'm good. He's like, no, you're not. And then you're like, okay, I'll call this right away. You don't want to fucking respect me. Then suck on this.
I wonder why a coach doesn't call timeout in that spot. I guess they're not on the line. Andy Reid's not even looking at it.
I guess it's hard. It's hard to judge. And you got to think
that's so quick to do.
Get back get back. Like, and I love it that it's happened to the Chiefs twice, though. Once on defense.
Well, look, there's always on an NFL sideline or a football sideline.
Don't bring up my former Niner D Ford. That was
well, I don't care about that, but it was fun to see him get offside.
There's always somebody that should be close to the line, right? There's always somebody that's near a coach or someone on the line that's yelling, "Yo, Tony, get the fuck back!" like he did it 3 or 4 times throughout the game. At some point, there's got to be somebody that looks over and be like, "Hey, you're a little close there. It's back. Make sure." And look, and maybe the ref. We don't have audio of the refs or anything, but I'm sure that he probably said to somebody, "Hey, back up." So like that, and probably was forgotten. Be like, "Oh, who the fuck cares?"
Nico, can we
he was lined up like that the whole time.
Can we agree this qualifies as a winner of the week then for us? This qualifies as a winner of the week for us. I think that I'm telling you, that soundboard, I want to get that cut on this thing. I want to use that all the time.
I want to use that when he comes into my house. Play that on the scoreboard, play that in the pipe videos, play that on whatever you can get your hands on.
I want that thing immediately. Real quick here, thoughts. Ohtani. I just want to get I've never really got your baseball thought. I don't know how big baseball fan you are. Me and Tyler are huge baseball. But I just it doesn't have to be a long
time. Arenado. What do you think?
10 years, $700 million.
The Rockies
deferring $640 million of it. I don't know if I was thinking I guess from a California tax standpoint, that's probably a decent move. Yeah. My thought goes to this. Do more teams, maybe even for other sports too, use this from a business side as a way to get players to come to California? I'm just wondering.
You can't do that.
Even other teams.
You can't do that. The MLB is the only league that allows this. It's the only league.
So let's just say just for baseball then.
Just for baseball.
Does it help the Giants?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Giants and the Giants.
Your Rockies even. Hey, we'll offer you $500 million later.
Hell no. The Rockies don't have.
The
Rockies don't have $100 million to pass out, let alone $700 million. All right, so that'll never even happen. Okay,
but even for guys that are I'm saying mediocre players, you're
not happening.
Your guys that are $50 million guys, you're hey, we'll give you $10 million this year. We'll give you the $40 million over this period of time. You don't think it will ever happen?
You say this will never happen again. Daryl Strawberry's still being paid by the New York Mets. Okay?
$1 million.
Still getting paid. Still getting paid though. These things will always happen. It maybe won't be upwards of $640 million, but I'm sure guys will.
Use it as a strategy.
It's taking $40 million. It's taking $40 million years for it to happen again.
If you're the Yankees, you're the Dodgers, you're the Cubs, you're
I would use that as a strategy.
Use that every damn way you can.
Yeah,
because you might use it for the best of the best, maybe an Aaron Judge last year.
Yeah, it's only.
So you don't think my middle doesn't pack guys?
No, hell no.
Consistently, no. I don't think a team does it twice with a player. They don't have the same guy or a year signed back to back, or a year signed the same year, where they're only paying them $4 million, but they're paying them $160 million 10 years from now. I don't think that happens.
The only teams that will ever do this will obviously be the teams that
it's the Yankees and the Dodgers. There's no
Yankees, Dodgers.
The Giants offered it.
The Giants offered it.
Suck you off and hope
they offered it though.
They did offer it.
They said that Farhan said they offered the same deal.
He said I'll come in LA.
Did you hear Buster Posey's comments about the city? We talked about it last
night.
I
agree with him. We're not getting political.
No, I'm saying he said people don't come to the Giants because of the city now, their reputation. I thought that was hilarious.
The girls aren't good enough. They won't come.
They won't come over that.
Well, and look, Ohtani is a hell of a talent, but this is why baseball.
He's not even pitching for a year.
I know he won't pitch for a year, but this is why baseball will never be anything in states like Colorado, cities smaller cities, right? Smaller teams. It's why the Rays, what they've done, the Rays have done has been so incredible.
Say that, how big did the Rockies get when you made the World Series with Helton when he missed home plate and they
were the second biggest story in Colorado.
Second biggest. So they weren't that big.
They were never the number one. Never the number one. They were
baseball's not loved in Colorado at all
then. People love going to Rockies games to get drunk,
smoking weed.
And get drunk, enjoy the views and socialize. That's all it is.
But I'm saying just the state of Colorado, do they have pride for baseball? Like high school baseball, is there pride? Is there college like, I mean, is there any, like in California, like there's teams that like
I'm the wrong person to ask because I grew up playing lacrosse and I didn't play baseball.
Yeah.
But
just like, the feel you get.
But the feel you get is like there is some good talent that's come out of our state, obviously. Like the Brad Lidges, the Roy Hallidays, the world came out of Colorado. Like they're good. There's been good players that came out of here, but it's not anywhere near of where the big cities are.
Yeah, I got
you. And like when you're a city, like when you're
half the year.
The stores half the year exactly. When you're the Colorado Rockies or you're the Baltimore Orioles or fucking the Tampa Bay Rays, you have to develop good star talent and win when they are on their rookie contracts. Because look what the Dodgers and Rays just did today. The Rays just dumped their best pitcher to the Dodgers for because we're probably not going to resign him because he isn't.
How can baseball be okay with this? Like it's weird. I love baseball. I love it.
Did that Dodgers trade really happen? Glasnow?
It's pending physical. That's the only thing. It's pending physical. And obviously,
and according to one of my insiders, Mr. Stone, they didn't get a top 10 prospect involved in the deal, Tyler.
It's baseball.
It's why baseball has been surpassed. It's plain and simple because football America was baseball's sport, plain and simple.
Yeah,
and I would argue to say it's fighting for third right now. And I would say hockey. The only reason why it's above hockey right now is because that's Canada's sport. Okay, it's below basketball in terms of people that are interested in it. It's below football by far and away. It is a far and distant third to those top two. And it's because when you live in the middle of the country, like everybody doesn't live in Boston, New York, and LA. Yeah, they're very populated, but people live elsewhere in the country. If you're a Minnesota Twins fan, if you live in Minnesota, why the fuck would I care about the Twins? Seriously, look, they've never won anything, but the Vikings have always had good talent.
They never won anything, though.
They've never won anything. But if I'm a Minnesota resident, would I rather buy a Joe Mauer jersey or a Justin Jefferson jersey?
Kirk Cousins.
The most iconic jersey, if we're going to bring it up, the most iconic picture I've ever seen is Stephon Marbury and Randy Moss posing back-to-back. But you're right. Baseball's a joke. The whole Hall of – everything about baseball is a joke.
The holier than now thing with the Hall of Fame, it just adds to it. Like look, I get steroids was bad, but the MLB – acts like it's the best thing in the world, and the only reason why
it's turned me off 100% to baseball. I don't care. You want to hate on the guys who did steroids or might have or whatever. I mean, Barry Bonds did steroids, but he's the greatest baseball player of any of our generations, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. Argue with your mom. Suck your dad.
Roger Clemens.
He's the greatest baseball player ever in our generation. And I think anyone who's not even a Giants fan can agree with that. And I watched him every at bat he came on. I was like, you think I believe you by living room? Barry Bonds is coming on. No, but Bud Selige's gonna get in the Hall of Fame. Baseball.
I never played baseball. I never once played baseball, but I turned the TV on to watch Barry Bonds hit up. Right? I turned on the TV to watch Barry Bonds break the home run record. My family did not watch baseball.
If you heard Barry Bonds was coming up to bat, would you watch it?
When we was doing the home run chase, absolutely I did. Yeah, like I said, I don't watch much baseball. I really don't.
That's fine. But
when I did, like I said, when I did, even my family that doesn't watch much baseball, when Barry Bonds was chasing the record, it was must-watch TV. It was watch Barry Bonds hit and then change the channel, plain and simple.
But Barry Bonds hit a home run or get walked. He hit a home run every time he was up. He was so good. Obviously, steroids help. I'm not saying steroids don't. I'm not like – do what you want with that information. You use steroids. But he was the greatest baseball player in the history of baseball. Whatever you want to use. He didn't – I mean, Willie Mays used amphetamine or whatever, heroin,
crack. Who knows what they're on in the 19th?
Griffey's the only other player that could do it, but injuries kill him.
Greatest baseball player of all time. And it's not close, in my opinion. And a lot
He's
of
the only hitter to have
and I think Daren, who is a bigger baseball fan than me, I'm more of a Giants fan. He's more of an overall baseball fan. There's nobody better than Barry Bonds.
Thank you, Oakland A's, for allowing that to be even better, Tyler.
So are you going to join them in Vegas like you did the Raiders? Or
baseball?
Yeah, we've talked about this a few times on the show. That was gonna take me some time. That's gonna take
The
like
fact Bud Selig is in the Hall of Fame.
it's gonna take me
It's
some time. Yeah,
sickening.
but like I said, the thing with Bonds, he's the only hitter I've seen where it's like he has an advantage over the pitcher every time he's out. That's not usually the case ever. So like even the great hitters like Acuna and all
Roger
those guys.
Clemens, Greg Maddux, the best of the best. Carry on.
We'll see if your boy Todd Helton does get in the Hall of Fame. He's on the ballot this year. I said he should be admitting.
He's the greatest player in one of your 30 whatever franchise's history.
He couldn't hold Barry's job.
But Larry Walker.
I'm not arguing that. Hold on. I'm not arguing.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
I'm not arguing that.
I'm just saying.
I think Barry
like
Bonds should be in. I'm not arguing.
The Barry Bonds.
I'm not arguing.
It hurts my feelings. The Barry Bonds. It's like probably Cincinnati and would keep Rose not in the hole.
I'm not arguing.
Doesn't make sense.
I'm not arguing against Barry Bonds. I'm arguing for Todd Helton. That's the only thing.
And he should be in the Hall of Fame.
He's the greatest player in the Colorado Rockies history. If you want to give any props to any like your non-big city sports or baseball teams, then you get Todd Helton in the Hall of Fame. Because
what about Matt Holliday sliding into home?
Matt
Holliday's
my favorite all-time Rocky. I love
he
Matt.
missed home plate, but they called him safe.
Traded him to the A's. Traded him to the A's.
Okay, Cargo gave us some good years too. I love Cargo too.
Yeah, we gave you Carlos. That's right. We did give you
Cargo was a great time.
We did give you him a little. We give you a few other guys. I think who else you get there? Aaron Harangue for a year.
Houston Street. Houston Street.
Could lacrosse pass baseball?
No. Look. I work for the PLL, so I'm gonna be careful with my words here.
Do you hold on? I've seen the stories on. Your co-host. What do you do for? You don't play in the PLL?
No, I don't play it. So I'm basically the club liaison. So I run the travel, the food, board, and equipment for one of the teams. So basically, if one of the teams has any problems with like the travel or anything, they come to me. I book everything for them. I get them all of them set up. So basically, all they have to do is show up, play. That's my job basically. And look, to your point, will lacrosse ever touch baseball? Not in a million years, not in 100 years. Okay, baseball would have to die a very, very fast death for that to happen. Okay, and look, lacrosse right now, the thing that we're trying to strive for is to be the 5th biggest sport in America.
Outside of hockey,
so the big 4, obviously basketball, baseball, hockey, and football, and the 5th is soccer. And soccer will still be one of the biggest sports in America because of how accessible it is to every single person that comes in. But our goal right now is to be bigger than the MLS. And the MLS, obviously, with Messi, it's going to be very, very difficult. But being able to grow the sport to a point where it can be that point, I don't know if it will happen in my lifetime, but there's a chance that with the things that this league has done, especially with bringing the game to the broader new audience, that it could get there to a point where we're 5th. I don't think we'll ever crack top 4 in my lifetime at least, but I think there's a very, very good chance it could be the 5th.
That's pretty cool that you are hosting or you are doing some upper echelon shit with lacrosse. Nico, I'm at an hour and 33 minutes. I'm ready to go. If you have anything else you want to talk about, Brock Purdy and Peyton Manning,
I'll say it one more time. I'll say it one more time, Tyler. It's all love. I appreciate going back and forth with you. I'm excited to see. Look, like I said, the Broncos, if we don't make the playoffs, which I think we may, I really, really do.
You might now.
I think we may have a chance. I will be rooting on the 49ers because, like I said, McCaffrey grew up in my backyard. I had family, I had friends that played against him, and obviously I have a lot of love for John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and company. So
absolutely,
I hope nothing for the best.
Nico, I feel the same way. I respect your opinion on all sports, NBA especially, NFL. Absolutely, we've talked shit. We've always disagreed, actually, and we've talked, but it's always been humane. It's always been fun. Nico, I appreciate you coming on. I sent you the link, not thinking you'd come on.
Oh, I'm backing up my words.
You. Hey,
I'm sorry I had technical difficulties.
Let me talk. Nico, I appreciate you grabbed your ball. You came on, you talked your shit, and you proved a point. And I'm sure a lot of people will agree with you and not agree with me, and that's what I love about it. I'm not afraid to fight my own battles. Nico, thanks for coming on. Say what you got to say, and I'm going to peace out after Nico finishes the sentence. After he finishes,
I'm not going to finish the show, but I appreciate it.
This is the Fatboy FadeAway. Check out TMB. Check out Far End of the Bench. Absolutely. Hey, absolutely. Hold on before you finish. Where and when can we find Far End of the Bench?
At FEOTB pod, Far End of the Bench podcast, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We still post on TikTok. We just had our bowl pick'em come out today. No, it came out Tuesday. Our bowl pick'em where we broke down 8 different bowl games with a couple, Jimmy's brother, and then one of my good friends for a long time, where we broke all that down. And then we just re-released an episode today. Just re-released the pick'em for this upcoming weekend, and then also the NBA Finals just post reaction after we won.
Perfect.
So all that stuff. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on, brother. Always a great time.
Nico, Daren, before you check out, he wanted to say a special thank you to you. He didn't want to sound like he's checked out on his own. This is the Fatboy FadeAway podcast with Nico from Far End of the Bench, one of the best follows if you have any interest in Nuggets, Avalanche,
Broncos.
Broncos. Those are the three. Those 3 squads. Nico, we'll talk regular quarterback. We'll talk Brock Purdy in the future. We'll see where he's at if he gets on the level where you won't disrespect him so much. But thank you for tuning in from Far End of the Bench. This is my guy, Nico. We were here with Darren Breyer from Fatboy FadeAway. This is the Fatboy FadeAway podcast. Check out TMB every Tuesday night, and we are out. Thank you, Nico.
Peace.